It's Friday, September 27. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the current flooding being experienced is a combination of changing rainfall pattern and outdated infrastructure. In a release Thursday afternoon, Mr. Holness said Jamaica is now experiencing longer and more intense periods of drought, followed by shorter and more vigorous rainfall in sections of the island which were previously not prone to such heavy rains. He noted that the country's infrastructure was originally built considering the weather trends of many years ago, but the shift has been overwhelming the existing infrastructure. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, should be fully operational today, Friday, September 27. This after drivers withdrew their service Tuesday, owing to fear for their safety. Cecil Thomas, communications manager at the state-run entity, said at 1 p.m. Thursday, the number of buses on the roads had risen to 314, compared to just over 100 on Wednesday. He said he expects that number to rise to 340 on Friday. But Thoms admitted that the current reduction in the number of buses is not totally blamed on the absence of drivers, but also the fact that of the 400 buses that the company utilizes daily on its routes, some were not rain-worthy and therefore would not be rolled during the inclement weather. The current makeup of the Cannabis Licensing Authority, the CLA, is more beneficial for larger investors and not small players. That was the unanimous opinion of the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, the PAAC, as they examined Jamaica's budding cannabis industry on Wednesday. As CLA CEO Lincoln Allen explained to the committee, licenses are granted in 3 tiers. Tier 1 is to cultivate a 1-acre plot of marijuana. Tier 2 is 1 to 5 acres, and Tier 3 is above 5 acres. Mr. Allen was asked about the license cost for 1 acre.
In terms of the cost, Mr. Chairman, we have estimated it to be a little bit less than $1 million.
I beg your pardon?
A little bit less than $1 million.
It could need to be a lot less than $1 million. Why would it cost $1 million? So hold on, who they pay that to?
Because of the...
Hold on, who they pay that
it's
to?
The
To
cost,
you?
it's the cost to build out the infrastructure to facilitate.
No.
PAAC members were stunned at this figure, and Mr. Allen went on to give a further breakdown. He detailed the application and license costs, quoting the figures in US dollars, a move that JLP MPs Hero Clark and Along the Tellerong took exception to.
To be granted, the cost of the license per acre is 2,500 US. Right?
We didn't hear that. We didn't hear that.
2,500 US per acre.
US again.
Right.
Parliament, this committee in session, is saying to the technocrat that we do not need to hear the US dollar quotation.
In our
we need to have Jamaican currency.
This is not the US Senate.
And that is what we are asking Mr. Lincoln to give us today.
I take issue with that also, Mr. Chairman.
No.
Let the record, this mic is not...
I think...
One second. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. You know, I've sat and I take issue with that as well. As a Jamaican sitting in the Houses of Parliament, I take issue with it as well. This is not the US Senate. It is not. And we can't go anywhere in the world and talk about Jamaican dollars.
Mr. Terry Long was also angered by the fact that Jamaicans who had previously been convicted for cultivating marijuana cannot have their records expunged.
Doing a great disservice to the average Jamaican man or woman who ekes out an existence, who is making a livelihood out of a particular product that has now, once again, Mr. Chairman, that is now a multi-billion-dollar industry worldwide. Even more so, what's even more offensive is that there are persons, we the Jamaican people, have said to farmers who have served their time in prison all 20 years ago or 30 years ago, whether they were trying to export a little thing or grow a little thing or cultivate a thing, we have said to them that their records cannot even be expunged. And that is very, very unfair.
The Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries has oversight for the CLA, and Permanent Secretary in that ministry, Dermot Spence, spoke to an alternative development program aimed at assisting small cannabis farmers.
The small scale tier 1 and so persons are being targeted to facilitate their incorporation into the legal space. The program has started off in a compound town, and it is targeted also for Orange Hill. There are some challenges with Orange Hill in terms of the land acquisition in order to facilitate the farmers there. They're using lands, but legally it is not their land, and we are working on that to have that sorted out.
However, there was strong caution from PAAC Chairman Wickham McNeil.
As far as I'm concerned, if this program and what we have in place does not in first instance benefit the small farmers, the medium farmers, the persons who have been in the industry for a long time, then I'm not into it. Because the fact of the matter is, if you allow this program to go simply to, in other words, just big persons with capital now, by the time you get all the alternative development in place, there'll be no place left for them.
News of the passage of the Safe Banking Act in the United States has created hope for Jamaica's marijuana industry. Minister of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries Audley Shaw on Thursday noted the significance of the Safe Banking Act. This could lay the foundation for addressing correspondent banking issues that remain a major challenge for legal cannabis producers. On Wednesday, the House of Representatives in the United States passed a measure opening the banking sector to sellers of cannabis who have struggled to safeguard their earnings from the booming marijuana industry. Shaw was speaking at the opening ceremony of the 3-day Canex Jamaica Business Conference and Expo at the Montego Bay Conference Center in St. James on Thursday. Jamaica is joining several countries to participate in the United Nations World's Largest Lesson, WLL 2019, between September and November. The WLL is part of the UN's Project Everyone campaign to promote the global goals for sustainable development. Education specialist with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, Dr. Rebecca Tortello, said the WLL is a repository of lessons, plans, and activity ideas for all ages that are online and is linked to a broader campaign by Project Everyone to promote the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The Denham Town Primary School, founded by late former Prime Minister Edward Seaga, is to be renamed in his honor. Minister of Local Government and Community Development and Member of Parliament for West Kingston, Desmond McKenzie, made the announcement Thursday. Speaking at the launch of the Edward Seaga Scholarship Awards at the Spanish Court Hotel in New Kingston, Minister McKenzie said that the move is part of initiatives being undertaken by residents of West Kingston to pay tribute to the man who served as their Member of Parliament for 43 years. There are also plans to erect a monument in Mr. Seaga's honor in front of the Tivoli High School, which he founded. McKenzie noted further that St. Aloysius Primary will be assisted in erecting 2 classrooms to be used for Spanish and music classes in Seaga's honor. Most cancers develop in adults. About 1 out of every 3 adults will develop cancer during his or her lifetime, while about 1 in 285 children will develop cancer before the age of 20. Some of the most common types of cancer in children under 15 years old includes leukemia. It accounts for about 29% of childhood cancer cases like acute lymphoblastic leukemia and acute myeloid leukemia. They can also develop brain and spinal cord tumors. In this report, we hear about a teenager's battle with cancer and her advice to those going through the experience. Our focus on cancer, particularly childhood cancer, continues this week with a story of bravery, kindness and faith. 15-year-old Renacia Thomas was diagnosed with Wilmer's tumor a year ago.
I was washing and I felt something. I bent over to like rinse or something, and I was living with my grandmother and I felt something hit against my right rib cage, and I eased the back up and I was touching it, and I went to my grandmother and I reported it to her. And she was saying it was either hernia or appendix or something. They took me to do an ultrasound. We did the ultrasound and it showed that there was nothing there. So I'm always feeling it because I know something is there, but because I'm a kid, I don't want to say anything much. But each time I'm like lonely or something, or I'm having a bath, I feel it. And sometimes I would play with it when I'm hungry and I lie down, it would just stand up there, not moving. Or sometimes I would push it and it would like go around the back. It was really was like go around the back and come back around, and I could move it. I was like playing with it and I never know what to do.
Renacia had Wilmer's tumor, a rare kidney cancer that primarily affects children, also known as nephroblastoma.
We found out that I had a huge mass over my right kidney. He was talking about surgery and have to remove my kidney. And I was crying, my mother was crying. I was more terrified. He also told us that we should choose a hospital to do the surgery and to get rid of it. And we chose the University Hospital of the West Indies, the UC. And I did surgery on September the 13th, 2018, last year. They removed my right kidney because they were trying to save us, if they could save my kidney, but it was overdue, they could not. They took remove my right kidney, and I thought everything was finished. Then they're saying that it was cancerous, so I had to do chemotherapy. Then we met Dr. Mills, and they handed us over to her. Started chemotherapy in November of last year.
Chemotherapy is a drug treatment that uses powerful chemicals to kill fast-growing cells in your body. It is an expensive but usually effective treatment for cancer.
My experience was a nightmare. It was hard. The first time I was doing chemotherapy, I was shocked. I was on ward 16. It wasn't pretty. I had constant pains in my back. I always want to lie down. It's like fire is in my spine. I cannot sit for too long. I can hardly walk. I'm always dizzy. I'm always like nauseous, or when I was just starting. No, it is getting used to my body. I think I'm finished August. I have some tests now. I finished the last one August the 9th. Yes, I have some tests to do to see if I'm going to do more. Hopefully I am not. Yes, and I did radiotherapy in May. I had it in the gleaner that I needed 1.5 million. With the money we got from Chase funds, my school, persons in Jamaica when they saw it in the gleaner, it didn't add up to the 1.5. So with the help of Dr. Mills, we got the radiotherapy free by Dr. Sharma at St. Joseph. But the money we used it for the chemotherapy drugs.
She wants to have a career in medicine and become a model, but for a while those dreams went up in smoke, especially when she first heard of the diagnosis.
There was a lot running through my mind. I was wondering if I was going to die. I was wondering if I was going to be okay. The money, as I said, I don't know about money. I'm new to all this hospital. I've never been admitted before. I think I was when I was a baby, when I was born, because I had jaundice in my blood. I've never been experienced the needles in my skin and drips, and so I was really confused. I wasn't worried about the surgery though. My kidney going away and leaving me with one. It's really hard for me to take.
This week on Culinary Trails, we're driving through Halfway Tree and Crossroads and trying out some smoothies. Everyone knows about your basic fruits and vegetable smoothies, those creamy pureed filling drinks. You can add an array of various spices, herbs, superfoods, and other health foods. The possibilities are endless.
Hi, my name is Leonard Christian. I'm from Central Smoothie, and today I will be preparing a granola punch for you guys. In the granola punch, you get the protein powder, the granola mostly, oats, banana, and almond milk. Come on. Frozen banana instead. Less than a minute. Ready.
So why should you drink smoothies? They're healthy. You'll get your daily allowance of fruits and vegetables. Also, they're quick and easy. Make your own nutrient-dense smoothie. It doesn't take as long as preparing most meals. It gives you time for other things.
Today I'm going to do for you our special strawberry crush. That includes banana, pineapple, strawberry, and protein. We'll be using the way strawberry flavored protein today. Orange juice. 1 banana. Strawberries, depending on if you're a strawberry lover. To that we'll add half a scoop of protein, and a scoop of ice.
I just love a good fruit smoothie. Let's see if Jamaicans are into the idea of thick blended fruits and veggies.
So what's your favorite smoothie?
Strawberry banana.
Wow. Do you think Jamaicans are really into this smoothie thing, or you think it's something that's catching on but not quite much?
For persons who, believe in like being healthy, then yes. It's not really about like a trend thing. Some people really take it seriously. Like for me, I love strawberry banana or strawberry, or even the pumpkin seed. Yeah.
And it's refreshing, especially when you're hot. You know Jamaica is hot. So when you're hot, you add a smoothie. It cools you down because you have the ice taste and the fruit taste. And yeah, it's good like that.
What's your favorite smoothie?
Power punch.
What's in a Power Punch smoothie?
Protein, granada, oats, soy milk, I think, and fruit, banana. Yes, I see. It fills you up for the day, so it's very good.
Next time you're in Halfway Tree, check out the smoothie stand in Central Plaza or OJ's Smoothies in Crossroads, right by Harmon Barracks. The US dollar on Thursday, September 26, ended trading at Jamaican $135.89, up by 55 cents. According to the Bank of Jamaica's daily foreign exchange trading summary, the Canadian dollar ended trading at Jamaican $102.53, up from $102.47, while the British pound sterling ended trading at $168.33, up from Jamaican $166.72. In regional news, U.S. President Donald Trump has banned senior Venezuelan officials and their families from entering the United States, the latest effort aimed at forcing President Nicolas Maduro to step down. According to the BBC, the declaration signed by Mr. Trump targeted Venezuelan officials with the rank of vice minister or above, military members with a rank of colonel or above, and members of the pro-Maduro legislature, the Constituent Assembly. The ban also applied to anyone acting on behalf of or in support of Mr. Maduro and those enjoying financial benefit from the government and their immediate family members. The United States recognizes opposition leader Juan Guaido as interim president. However, Mr. Maduro has accused the U.S. of trying to orchestrate a coup against him. The U.S. is one of more than 50 nations that have given its backing to Mr. Guaido, the head of Venezuela's National Assembly, who declared himself president in January, arguing that Mr. Maduro's re-election last year was fraudulent. In other regional news, Trinidad and Tobago's Finance Minister Colm Imbert has defended the government's move to sell Petrochin to the Oilfield Workers Trade Union for $700 million through their subsidiary company Patriotic Energies. We get more in this TV6 News report.
Staffed, and it was never able to make a suitable profit because of its very, very high operating costs. We do not expect any entity, including Patriotic, to operate the refinery with the same number of persons or the same cost structure that was there before. So.
Acting Prime Minister Colm Imbert on the Cabinet's decision to choose OWTU-owned Patriotic Energies and Technologies Company Limited as the preferred bidder for the sale of the state oil refinery owned by Trinidad Petroleum Holdings Limited subsidiary, Guaracara Refining Company Limited, as well as another subsidiary, Paria Fuel Trading Limited.
And a lot of people have asked the question as to if the refinery was so unprofitable over the years, why should anybody believe that a new entity can make it profitable? And there's a simple answer to that. The refinery is saddled with huge debt, billions of dollars of debt. Any person taking it over now will not have to carry that debt.
TPHL replaced Petrotrin late last year, a move which resulted in the loss of some 5,000 jobs at a cost of over $2 billion, according to the government, inclusive of the 1,800 jobs at the refinery when it was mothballed. Now that the company owned by the OWTU is set to own the refinery,
and in hindsight, still stand by that decision to close the refinery and the restructuring?
Well, the refinery, as I said, it was burdened with extremely high debt because it's part of an integrated company. And then it had a very high operating cost, so that we expect going forward that it will not have these high operating costs and it'll be debt-free. So they have a good chance.
He said the non-core assets Patriotic offered US $300 million to acquire are not for sale, and the cabinet is now deliberating on what to do with them. Mr. Imbert said there are no legal issues with the cabinet's decision to grant Patriotic a 3-year moratorium on all payments of principal and interest, and a further 10 years to complete payment of the sum of US $700 million it has offered for the refinery.
In sports, a public reprimand That is the ruling of the Independent Anti-Doping Disciplinary Panel on the Brianna Williams case after a 2-day hearing in Kingston. Despite the ruling, Brianna Williams will not make her senior national debut at the 17th International Association of Athletics Federation's World Championships in Doha, Qatar on Saturday. PBCJ understands that Jonelle Smith, who finished 4th in the women's 100 meters finals at the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association's National Championships that was used as a trial to select the team, has been named to accompany Elaine Thompson and Shellian Fraser-Price. The first round of the women's 100 meters was set at 8 a.m. on Saturday. Approximately 2,000 competitors from 200 countries will converge on the oil-rich Arab state of Doha for the 17th edition of the World Athletics Championships, with approximately US $7.5 million up for grabs, along with the title of being crowned the best in the world. Jamaicans who plan to visit Qatar for the IAAF World Championships in Doha are required to have a visa for entry. Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade is advising persons wishing to travel to Qatar on Jamaican passports that visa applications must be made online with good lead time to have the visa application processed before finalizing travel arrangements. The championships will run from September 27 to October 6. In other sporting news, the governing body of high school sports, ISSA, is investigating a case where allegations have been made that one of the country's top schoolboy footballers is a professional athlete. The matter reportedly involves outstanding Clarendon College player Lamar Walker. Eyebrows were raised when Walker resumed playing in the Da Costa Cup competition this month after his school had posted on Instagram that he had signed a professional contract. ISSA's amateurism policy, implemented in 2015, stipulates that student athletes must retain their amateur status to remain eligible for ISSA competitions. In the weather report, the Meteorological Service has extended the flash flood warning for low-lying and flood-prone areas of Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, and St. Andrew, as well as St. Thomas. Extended the flash flood watch for low-lying and flood-prone areas of St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland, effective until 5 p.m. today. A persistent trough across Jamaica and the Central Caribbean continues to produce unstable weather conditions across the island. Satellite imagery and rainfall data indicate that periods of light to moderate and at times heavy showers continues to affect sections of most of the parishes during the night, and the greatest intensity occurring across the southern parishes. Although the trough is projected to move away from the island, beginning this afternoon, periods of showers and thunderstorms, which could be heavy at times, are expected to continue across the island into this evening. Additional flash flooding is therefore likely across sections of southeastern and south-central parishes. A flash flood warning means flooding has been reported or will occur shortly. Motorists and pedestrians should not attempt to cross flooded roadways or other low-lying areas, as strong currents are likely. Residents in low-lying areas should be on the alert for rising waters and are to be ready to move quickly to higher ground. A flash flood watch means that flash flooding is possible, and residents are advised to take precautionary measures. Keep informed by listening to further releases from the Meteorological Service, and be ready for quick action if flooding is observed or if a warning is issued. The Meteorological Service will continue to monitor the situation. And that's the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom. Pleasant viewing.